You've been activated. Do you need a minute?
No, I'm always ready for action.
Try to pull that shit again. Go on. Oh, wait!
That's right.
Together we are strong. Together we are strong.
Jesus.
We've successfully trialed our first micro-drone, and it's officially as cute as the dickens. I've decided to name it Sebastian.
Time to break into Titus.
And take away Nigel Cass's newest toy, Project Themis. Bagley, any idea where that name comes from?
Greek mythology. Themis was the goddess of divine justice. You know, the one with the sword.
Ooh, that is so Nigel fucking Cass.
See? School's useful for something besides social maladjustment. Find the schematics of the building and I'll work out the location of the Themis project.
Yeah.
I don't know you.
Look round for anything named Themis.
Of course, easy peasy.
Well, if I was hiding a top-secret, morally dubious drone project like Themis, I would put it in the secure vault on the lowest level. You will have to hack your way past some pretty serious security, however. The elevator that leads to the secure vault that houses Themis is locked down. You will have to access the bypass terminal to use it. You will require a spider bot.
I definitely heard something. Ah!
You'll be using Sebastian and the rest of the microdrones to bypass security. But first you'll have to get by that laser array. I suggest a spider bot and steady nerves.
Of course. Easy peasy.
Our job is not an easy one, but it is an important one. Right now we devote countless hours to intelligence gathering and still things slip through the cracks. We're doing our best, you tell me. We are, but our best isn't good enough. That doesn't sound right. But even we aren't perfect yet. Yeah, no, like that. That strikes a humble note. We make errors in judgment. That's human nature, but we cannot afford errors. We are the last resort to protect the people. Project Themis will dispense justice and protection. It will use data to predict the patterns of crime and abuse. It will let us transcend the faults in our own nature. Not bad. Yeah, they'll have questions, of course, which is fair. It's an extreme measure, and there is potential for abuse, but this is what London needs.
Intruder alert. Security lockdown initiated.
All right, Sebastian, this is what you and your friends have been training for. Time to crash the security grid for Daddy.
forth, little drones. Show Daddy what you can do.
That's the spirit. She'll be pretty sick. This is taking too long, mate. Why don't you just shoot the damn door?
I know what I'm doing. Thank you very much.
Sebastian, no!
Right then, no time for tears. Meet Sebastian, another of our countless microdrone allies. All named Sebastian, of course. You can't iterate on perfection. cores. Destroy them, Sebastian. And for God's sake, be careful. You've made your father very proud, Sebastian. Oh, right. You should be able to access the Themis project room now.
Let's ruin Nigel's fucking day.
I said I could have done that in one go. I would have been lying.
London, once a beacon of civility, now a cesspool of lawlessness. It is clear that humanity can no longer police itself. Fortunately, we don't have to. Welcome to Project Themis. Albion has found a way to apply an existing system, LifeScore, a data aggregator of biometrics, personal information, to our new autonomous drones. These drones can identify, isolate, and terminate threats before they can do harm. They can go anywhere, see everything. They could kill a man alone in an alley or in a crowd of hundreds with perfect precision. Themis drones can do what humans have always struggled to. Act immediately and decisively.
Fuck me, I knew it. The LifeScore algorithm. My algorithm. I should have scrubbed it before I left.
What do you mean, Hamish? You know how Themis works.
No, fam. Well, yeah. This was years ago. We were developing a LifeScore algorithm for what Cass called a peacekeeping system. Supposed to identify vulnerable civilians, not target them.
Bloody hell.
So in theory, Themis could be programmed to target anyone based on any number of parameters.
Exactly. That's the way Cass thinks. Genius, but twisted. We have to stop this. And I know how. We delete the LifeScore data and Themis is done.
Oh, for Christ. All right. And Finney.
Yes, we'll have the award ceremony another time. Get out now. This may be entertaining. I've intercepted an audio transmission from Nigel Cass.
Drone, begin search. No more excuses. This is my city, and I will not have DedSec ruin my plans for it. Themis was poised to change London, the world. And this group of... And Hamish fucking Balaji? I want them all. They made you all look like fools. They walked calmly into the White Tower, and no one, not one of you, stopped them with all our vaunted security measures. So do any of you have anything to say? Shit. Nothing. Well, everyone, and I mean everyone in the organization, will be re-vetted immediately. Someone helped them, that's certain, and we will root them out. This time, we will get them all.
Well, that's about done it. Cass is gonna steam about this for a while. No more life score, no more Themis. You did it.
It was a group effort, Hamish. We wouldn't have gotten very far without your help. And we'll need your help again next time we take on Nigel Cass.
Not much of a joiner, fam. Considering how my days at Albion ended. But I'll be keeping watch on them and Cass. Maybe feed you lots of intel.
And there's still the question of Zero Day. Remember them? Completely gutted DedSec 1.0?
Cass had a hand in that purge, Bagley, and in the bombings, so we'll gladly accept any help you can give us, Hamish. Cheers.
Yeah, no, I told you. Yeah. What? No, so you just... Yeah, so that's exactly what I said. You just gotta call him.
In the last adventure of Detective Bagley and his occasionally helpful human sidekicks, we discovered that a billionaire tech mogul and a war profiteer both had secret plots to exploit human suffering and murder thousands. A shocking twist, I know. Speaking of the people we most suspect, Mary Kelly's slave trade is bound to be any day now, and we also just received a distress signal from a coffee shop of all places. Maybe the Wi-Fi's down or something.
Is that really relevant, Bagley?
Yes, obviously there's more to it than that, but I knew I had to make a joke or you'd just tune it out. I've marked both leads on your optic.
No, she's in the kitchen on the right. Yes, I did. It's in the kitchen on the... You want Let me finish. It's in the kitchen on the right-hand side when you walk in.
How'd it go? Late, at least at first. People wandered around bored mostly. Then some bloke pulled out a megaphone, started shouting in slogans, right? Made this speech too, got everyone in.
Yeah, I love it when someone knows how to pump up a crowd.
Fucking Albion mercs tried to strong-arm us. But we were like one big beast, you know? Ready for anything. Damn.
Yeah, no, I know. Yep.
This is strange. One of our servers is being pinged constantly from the Wi-Fi of a particular Star Roger coffee.
What's that supposed to mean?
Yes, I thought it was noise at first too, but then I decoded the pings. It's Morse code.
Auto
3
drive
letters
now
repeating
enabled.
over and over.
Go on.
S-O. Wait for it. S.
Let's make some inquiries. Drop the location on my map.
Again.
Well, there has been some news about DedSec, the resistance and/or terrorist organisation. Delete according to preference, not preference. Sorry, delete according to whether or not you work for the government, SIRS, Bloom, McKellies, or Albion. According to a SIRS official, DedSec is no longer a threat, which I guess is true in that it was never a threat in the first place. Reminds me of when my great aunt Gladys had her appendix out. Oh, Andy, that surgeon's a real threat, waggling that knife at me, trying to knock me out. Well, they call a scalpel in an anaesthetic, Gladys. Anyway, if SIRS officials say DedSec is dead and buried, I guess we have to assume that, well, DedSec has never been stronger. But I do worry, Alice. I mean, sometimes I think, is there any hope? Do you still have hope?
I don't think I'm allowed to have hope. We're living in the self-selected, algorithmically designated information equivalent of a propaganda state. And every resistance that I've ever seen is weaker than the British power.
I'm here. What now?
There doesn't seem to be any obvious peril, does there? Have a seat and I'll ping back the IP sending us the distress signal.
Bloody brats. Good to go. Someone's recorded all this.
Miss. What's the deal with this burner phone bollocks?
It's a cryptophone. It's secure. Every device on CTOS can be compromised. If we're overheard, we're dead. Both of us.
Who is this?
Not important. What matters is that I have inside information on SIRS, and I believe the people who framed you are rogue officers. And loath as I am to say it, DedSec may be my only hope to stop them.
You have my attention. No more, no less.
Good. I hid coordinates to a meeting place on a device in that establishment.
Bagley? Sabine? What are we getting into?
Alright, that's a wrinkle. So this SIRS bloke says Zero Day are a bunch of Secret Service dickheads. I mean, I suppose it does make sense. The bombings were too sophisticated for randos, but SIRS could pull it off.
Officially, SIRS, or the Signals Intelligence Response Service, uses surveillance data drawn from CTOS to identify large-scale terrorist and criminal threats. Then they send Albion to shoot the threats in the face. For example,
And in the wake of escalating violence in London, the SIRS is extending the right to use lethal force to law enforcement and Albion securities.
unofficially, SIRS uses your data to read your mind and arrest you for having naughty thoughts.
So we have means and opportunity, which leaves motive. SIRS are fascist pricks, but they're supposed to stop groups like Zero Day from doing terrorist shite. Why cause one? When you meet this guy, ask.
I'm innocent.
This area is being recorded by the
Any other patrols have eyes on the suspect, over?
I realise this is a difficult distinction for a vicious mammal like you to grasp, but there is such a thing as being too violent.
Please, help! I'm cooperating, okay?
I realise this is a difficult distinction for a vicious mammal like you to grasp, but there is such a thing as being too violent.
Be advised, we are on the trail.
Any sign of the target? Anyone? Just give up, will you?
Backup! I say again, I need backup. Over.
In pursuit. I repeat, we are in pursuit.
Preparing to intercept vehicle. There's our target.
This is London Calling. You're listening to me, Tash, on Buccaneer, your source for what they don't want to know. This time we're turning our focus back on the media to look at my former employer, the GBB. As we know, the broadcasting has been through a lot of changes since the Hassani government gave in to pressure from its corporate backers and private corporation. Today, the GBB is a shadow of its former self. It's become a tool to try the government to circulate fake news and misinformation. So how did we get here? Where did it all go wrong? How can you tell when national media has become state propaganda? Our experts speak on conditions of anonymity. Here's disinformation and media expert Charles, who's seen free broadcasters built up by journalists and torn down by journalists. Auto drive now enabled.
So before the media fragmented, there was this worthy of trust. Then what we ended up with is a really commercial model where whether you're talking about an app on a smart device or whether you're talking about a broadcaster, the most important thing was to keep you in that environment for the longest amount of time possible. And because that meant money in their pocket. And in order to do that, a couple of things happened. One was the use of manipulative techniques around behavioral economics, things that would just keep you scrolling, keep you listening, keep you looking for more information. The second is that kind of environment favors sensationalism. And so you got more sensational headlines and more sensational stories, and it didn't matter whether they were true or not. It just kept people in, and it kept them in the loop.
We're on that
so
tail.
we ended up in a situation where nobody trusted anything, and nobody
driving into the vehicle.
at all. And that is the perfect environment for authoritarian forces to come in and say, no.
Auto drive now enabled.
The ground for this environment really got created when we had authoritarian politicians everywhere. Anything that threatened them or they disagreed with,
Danger.
they would call
Vehicle in critical condition. Please exit immediately.
And again, we got in a situation where nobody really believed anything. And the trouble is, if you were telling the truth, it's very hard to get your message to cut through all of the noise of all of the disinformation that's there. So like, you remember Out on the Edges, there was this story about when they would take a house by force, they would take any infants and they would crucify them. And that's a great, fantastic, viral story. And how do you counter that story? With the truth. The only way you can counter it is by saying,
Vehicle in critical condition.
and of course,
Please
no one wants to
exit
spread
immediately.
that story. No one wants to hear that story. They want to hear the sensationalism. They want to hear how people were victims of violence when in fact they weren't. Or they were victims of insurgent forces
Danger.
when in fact they weren't.
This is London Calling. You're listening to me, Tash, on Buccaneer, your source for what they don't want you to know. This time we're turning our focus back on the media to look at my former employer, the GBB. As we know, the broadcaster has been through a lot of changes since the Hassani government gave in to pressure from its corporate backers and privatised the corporation. Today, the GBB is a shadow of its former self. It's become a tool used by the government to circulate fake news and misinformation. So how did we get here? Where did it all go wrong? How can we tell when our national media has become state propaganda? Our experts speak on conditions of anonymity for their own safety. Here's disinformation and media expert Charles, who's seen free broadcasters built up by journalists and torn down by demagogues all over the world.
So before the media fragmented, there was a voice of authority that was trusted.
We have a situation. Signs of a struggle. No trace of the SIRS contact.
SIRS may be onto him. If you get access to the area's surveillance infrastructure, I can rebuild the scene in AR.
I'll see what I can do.
plots, damn it. Now return to the scene and I'll reconstruct what happened to our contact.
CTOS AR. Data reconstruction in progress.
That appears to be our contact.
Fucking hell.
Yes, it certainly doesn't look like his best day, does it? Analyze the clues in the AR workspace to find out what happened to him. This is a non-lethal weapon, so odds are he's still alive, though he may not want to be. They've taken our SIRS contact away, but they may still be nearby. I can reconstruct the vehicle's path from unsecured CCTV recordings. That should allow you to follow it.
Funny now. Turns out all that weird shit happening was on account of a hurricane in Ireland.
Developing combat road.
This is London Calling. You're listening to me, Tash, on Buccaneer, your source for what they don't need to know. This time we're turning our focus back on the media to look at my former employer, the GBB. As we know, the broadcaster has been through a lot of changes since the Hassani government gave in to pressure from its corporate backers and privatised the corporation. Today, the GBB is a shadow of its former self. It's become a tool used by the government to circulate fake news and misinformation. So how did we get here? Where did it all go wrong? How can we tell when our national media has become state propaganda? Our experts speak on conditions of anonymity for their own...
The reconstruction's nearly finished, and so's our contact if you don't hurry.
And torn down by demagogues all over the world.
So before the media fragmented, there was this voice of authority that was trusted and worthy of trust. Then what we ended up with is a really commercial model where whether you're talking about an app on a smart device or whether you're talking about a broadcaster, the most important thing was to keep you in that environment for the longest amount of time possible. And because that meant money in your pocket. And in order to do that, a couple of things happened. One was the use of...
It looks like our contact's assailants stopped here, but I can't see them nearby. Let's analyze the data to see if we can find out where they went.
So you don't agree with the civil rights groups who have concerns about...
CTOS AR. Data reconstruction in progress.
Our contact's assailants are switching vehicles to elude pursuers, which is standard operating procedure for private military burks like Albion.
Albion? Not SIRS? You sure?
What can I tell you? They're mercenaries. If you keep looking, you might find out why they're interested in an SIRS whistleblower. I've completed a thorough analysis of the vehicle and concluded it is a van.
Come on, Bagley, give me something to work with.
Well, I could also mention that the minute traces of sand in the tyre tracks indicate that it's been on a construction site recently. But you know me, hate to sound like a smartass. I've been scanning nearby construction yards for Albion activity and, long story short, some dozy git has forgotten to turn off the security camera in the makeshift torture room.
I want to see it.
I'm not who you think I am, I swear. You're Malik, a SIRS officer and a leaky fucking twat. That's not me. I swear to God. Please, please.
Only a matter of time before he breaks. Bagley? Coordinates.
This is London Calling. You're listening to me, Tash, on Buccaneer, your source for what they don't want you to know. This time we're turning our focus back on the media to look at my former employer, the GBB. As we know, the broadcaster has been through a lot of changes since the Hassani government gave in to pressure from his corporate backers and privatised the corporation. Today, the GBB is a shadow of its former self. It's become a tool used by the government to circulate fake news and misinformation. So how did we get here? Where did it all go wrong? How can we tell when our national media has become state propaganda? Our experts speak on conditions of anonymity.
DedSec calling. Are you up for some freedom fighting?
Might as well. I joined up for a reason.
Dust them!
Calm down. I'm with DedSec. You called us?
Of course. You shouldn't have come here. Now they'll know for sure I've betrayed them.
I just saved you, dipshit.
No, you've just damned us both. Look, I'll upload the intelligence onto an anonymous FTP. It'll explain everything.
No, how about you explain everything?
My name is Richard Malik. I'm an intelligence analyst. I believe 0 Day are rogue SIRS officers who framed you for the bombings to seize power. Now they're murdering or blackmailing anyone who threatens them, which now somehow includes me.
All right. We'll have Bagley check the intel. Don't make me regret this.
That I can't promise.
Malik has made his way out, and now I suggest you do the same.
I'm undecided on him as a man, spy and all. But we should check his information.
All right, 1 second.
Better review the intel and then muster up the troops. All right, Bagley?
Look, just to be on the safe side, I think we should walk away from this.
You're just bloody wrong. He needs a helping hand.
May I present a third option? Just use him. An SIRS whistleblower, even one you don't trust, could still help us find the arseholes that blew up half of London and framed DedSec for it. You don't have to invite him to your birthday, just use his information.
Good thinking. Fine.
Right, that's that guys for Watch Dogs Legion Freeroaming. Thanks for watching.